Are we live? Sorry, ladies and gents, I am doing this through my laptop, in which I have done precisely 0 of my streaming with. And we are. Wonderful. So, yeah, today we're getting an upgrade. If you'll give me a second. Okay. So, today we are getting a bit of an upgrade. I don't know if you can see that stuff behind me. So the astronaut alcohol out the way. Got some thermal compound here. Got a brand new 750 watt power supply from MSI. Bring that over here. And finally, the star of the show today. It's the star of the show tonight. This is a Ryzen 9 5900 XT. Okay, we are finally upgrading from the 4600G that we had for pretty much the past. Gosh, it's approaching 2 years now, if you can believe that. This thing is approaching 2 years, very, very rapidly as well. Yeah, it's an upgrade that, although I was not happy putting the price up, I think it is much needed. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get the PC out. Just gonna get the PC out of the way and onto this little desk over here. Just make sure that the stream hasn't blown to bits. Do that. So guys, once again, I'm using a laptop here. The laptop that I have here, I don't think I've ever streamed from it. At least maybe I've only done to Twitch. So unplug. Pay for all this later. Okay, we got 3. No, did not want to press that motherboard reset button. Wonderful. I did not think this out very well. I did not think this out very well at all. Did not think this out very well at all. Okay. Now I got it onto the desk. Now I can go ahead and turn you guys here. Turn y'all. That better for y'all. Really don't know. And we actually get a good chance to take a look at this overall system, which I put together a few years ago now, although it has received its fair number of upgrades since then. I think we're gonna have to take a look. I'll tell you all what we have. I have seen them help us out a little bit. Doing this the right way. Have something. So, with doing it the right way, if I can find it. Is it in here? I feel like it might be in here. Let's make sure we did it the right way. Bloody hell, I don't know where to put it. Then again, I never know where to put it. Shit, boy. Right, I have something in here that will help us out. Let's do it the right way. think it might be in there. At least I hope it's in here somewhere. I apologize if anyone's saying anything in chat. Bloody hell. Come on. I just want to put it here. Just clean up this whole room. Oh. Just clean up this whole area. So. And making a mess already. Nothing there. Here. Nope. Get no clue where it is. Where is it? Where is it? Nope. Okay, well, we might have to do it the wrong way then. You might have to resort to doing it the wrong way. I feel like I've seen it recently as well. That's always the annoying thing. I feel like I've seen this stuff fairly recently. It's like one of those things I feel like I've seen fairly recently. Where it is. Closet here. Ideally, I would have been more prepared for this year. It's not the way I operate. Okay, well, tell you what. I think we're just gonna have to do without it. We're just gonna have to do without it, which I'm a professional, so theoretically that should be fun. Go ahead and get these thumb screws off. Set them neatly set over there. In terms of the current specs of this thing, currently this thing has a 4060 in it. Right. Currently this thing has a 4060 in it. Upgrading the CPU, obviously, it's got a 450 watt power supply. Now keep in mind that when I initially bought the power supply for it, when I initially bought the power supply for it, I didn't think I was going to ever have a 40 series card in here. Nor did I ever think that I was going to do a CPU upgrade at any point. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get this panel off. You can go ahead and throw these thumb screws over here. You're my wings. You're my wings for Flight Sim 2024. Decided to put those things in here. Smart. So. Oh shit, we're gonna have to unplug everything. Fuck, and I just did the cable management not too long ago as well. Fuck. Man, this is like essentially a complete rebuild. How much memory does this thing have? It has 32 gigs of memory. That's not a question in the chat. It's a question I made up. So, of course, if you tuned in, say something in chat, please. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about this. Hopping off the other side of the panel. throw this out over here. When I say throw over here, I mean gently put on the bed. Not get out a window. Oof. At the same time, some stuff here is, this stuff is dusty. Using the iFixit ProTech toolkit. I've had this thing for, gosh, going on a decade now. Boy oh boy is it. I actually received it as a gift, boy oh boy. Holy. No, I don't know how well y'all can see that. It's the top of that dust filter, right? This is all the dust that escaped through it. Oof. We are going to have to wipe that off very neatly. So, the prize position right here that we're working on is smart. No, we've got nothing from Proster because it looks like there's a fair amount of dust through the entire system. Dusters, my dead skin cells. Now get to see the kind of mess we get to completely and utterly ruin in the back. I don't know how well y'all can see that. I was actually quite impressed with the cable management. So, okay. Let's go ahead and roll this thing out. We will not roll it out on a chair. We will be smart. And we are going to roll out over here. We're actually not going to need that much. So. Get the good old. This is my FX screwdriver. It's definitely seen better days. Don't know how well y'all can see. Yeah, it's definitely seen better days. Okay. What's the first step here? I think the first step is going to be to get the power. Yeah, get the GPU out. To be honest, usually that's the last step. Okay. I don't think I'm hoping you won't need to get the motherboard out. I'm thinking it'll be fine. So, yeah, I'm hoping it'll be fine. I'm thinking it'll be fine. So, keep an eye on the stream here. So. Okay. Now. There's a little fin in here. There's a little fin in here. I don't have a little pin with me. There's a little fin in here. Okay. Some people will try to go in and rip the graphics card out. That does nothing but damage the graphics card. That does nothing but damage the graphics card. Ideally, what you want to use a little spudger like this. So when that came with the iFixit kit, what you want to do is you want to reach in there. It's narrow. Push it in, and then the card will come out. Right. If it's not coming out, try pushing it in again. And then we'll go ahead and put this beauty over here. Okay. Before we continue, actually, let's unbox the power supply. Grab a knife. Which I have knives all. I may be a proud Englishman. I'm also proud of my knives. Raw utility. Here's a Jeep. Here's one for Amazon Basics. What? There you go. Usually I can do that. Usually I can do that first try. don't really advise doing it though. Or sure. I think you can. Well, but we do this. So then we'll take verse H18, I think. Links to all parts on the Rhino MCFS website under my gear, I think. So. I am a trained professional, so just remember that. Okay. I'm a self-trained professional. I built, at this point in time, I've built dozens of computers, not dozens, probably about a dozen computers now. I've operated them on dozens. I have operated on dozens at this point. Most of which are my own. Okay. The only reason that I have not taken the A+ certification is because it's $500 and it's not true accurate representation of my abilities. Okay. Let me just love this new power supply smell. Oh, this is a semi-modular one. Got your CPU and power cable. I don't know if I'll ever use that. Bag of extra cables. Okay. Screws, which we're not going to touch. Okay. Actually, we are going to touch this. No? So I'm going to show y'all. Arguably, we should have done this first. Okay. Then I think we'll perform this. After we finish removing the old stuff, we'll perform the CPU upgrade. Okay. Box. Okay. I'm going to show everyone a little tip here. Pull it out of its casing. Okay. Power supply. Oh, first off, let's go over what this power supply is. This power supply here is an an MSI A750 Bravo Echo. Or B. What that means, I know it. I think it's 80 plus bronze. At least that's the reason they bought it. Yeah, it is 80 plus bronze. Which, although ideally you want 80 plus platinum, no one's gonna care. And in 80 plus bronze power supplies, realistically, it's about the same as an 80 plus platinum. Realistically, it's about the same as an 80 plus platinum. This is a PCIe. That's not. Okay. We're there for a second. Okay. Overall, though, I used to say I only recommended 3 power supply companies: Thermaltake, 4 power supply companies. I used to say that Thermaltake, EVGA. There's 2 more. Corsair and Seasonic. Nowadays, I'm able to recommend more. Right. So I'm able to recommend MSI now. Nowadays, I'm able to recommend MSI. And so they're pretty good now. I'm able to. Whether or not I'm able to say that, hey, that ASUS, it's a good power supply manufacturer. I can't say for certain anymore. So, anyway, power supply gets plugged in, just make sure it is off. Okay. And then just periodically test it whenever you think you might have picked up any kind of static. Right? And that way it is, this metal here is grounded. Actually, I don't know if it is. It should be. It's a bit of an older chip though. Okay. Let's actually go ahead and running out of space here. They're over on the desk. Okay. Let's go back here actually. Let's go and start doing a bunch of these cables. A bunch of these zip ties. I think somewhere. Ideally though, I'm going to try to save them. Sorry. Call me a waste. No. I know I deserve it. Actually, I'm just going to get proper pair of snips. Where? That's not pair of snips either. One, of course, it's the one that I can't find. Yeah, it's the one that I can never find. Or, sorry, it's more accurate is that it's the one I can find. It's never when I need it. It's never when I need it. That's the much more accurate statement. Tell you what, this will do. This will do. This is done. This pair came from a this pair here actually came from the 3D printer. Included them, and so far I can tell you all that they've been. I can't say that they've been the best, but in terms of cutting through plastic with ease, you can't. I'm not lying when I said quite possibly been the best pair. So I mean, they're sharp. I mean, they have gosh a year of misuse on them at this point. That one's fine. Let's see here. Any more that I gotta be worried about? Here's another SSD. I guess any SSD is missing. I got like 4. Okay. Let's get the UO power supply out now. Am I using a drill to do this? No. I'm not. I don't really see a purpose in using a drill to do something that my hand can do pretty much just as fast and pretty much just as efficiently. Right, not when you can get the not when you can get the finger string. Not when you just do it. So plus whenever you're working with computer electronic components, it's best practice not to use power tools. At risk that you might over tighten something unintentionally, or you might not get it as tight as it should be. You lose a significant amount of feel. Now the factories, I'd say you're fine. So I'd say you're fine in factory though, because of course they have everything. Turn that off. Good. Right then, let's go ahead and try to get this fucking massive PCI. Fucking massive cable. That's 24 pin out the way. Oof, fuck. That's unplug the swasses too because of that. Not a worry for the techie here. Though I do need to be a little concerned about that on the motherboard. I'm missing a few standoffs. I don't recommend anyone cheap out like that, but something I did. Can't remember the reason why. For this, just because I can't, because it's a bit difficult to get my hand in. I do need to use something to get at this guy. Can I do it? Now, if we did this smart, I would remove this fan. The thing is that these fans, it's like when you go to dig it, it's like when you go to install these fans, it's actually like you're digging into the plastic, right? You're not actually like, not like an actual nut. There. Just digging into the plastic. Come on, let's see here. What motherboard is this? This is a B450M A2. This is a B450M A2 from Jesus. It's a solid. It's a solid board. I can't recommend it anymore. I can't recommend anyone build a system in this day and age that doesn't have at the very least support for Ryzen 3, which on these boards it's a bit of a hit and miss. I remember for my dad's system we had to do we used the same board for my dad's system, and what we had to do for his system is we had to update the BIOS on it before we could use the board. So yeah, so on these boards you just gotta be careful. Sometimes they're hit and miss in terms of their compatibility, in terms of their actual like compatibility with with the vast majority of AM3 CPUs. Shit, do I need to do the BIOS upgrade? I hope not. If not, I have a fully functional PC here. Maybe to watch a video on it before even though. BIOS updates are one of those things so much. I say keep everything as up to date as possible, except for a BIOS. Right. Except for like a motherboard BIOS, because it's like your chances of getting hacked by a BIOS hack by a BIOS hacker is essentially nothing. There's not much to do. There's not much access in the BIOS unless you're trying to disable your system entirely. There's not much value in BIOS attacks. I'm not saying that they don't happen, but with that, I can't say that they don't happen, because they do. there are vulnerabilities in BIOS. In the BIOS, there are vulnerabilities in those, but they don't happen. And you're putting yourself at far greater risk by updating your BIOS all the time than you would be just ignoring it. So I mean, BIOS for the one being are basically the output system. Really, it's more of a system that allows you to configure your motherboard. Right. It's more software that allows you to configure your motherboard. If you look at it that way, officially that's not what it is. And it allows it's software before your computer boots to Windows. Right. Okay. We have ourselves a power supply. This is an EVGA. No, it's a 500 VR. Look at that's 450. Anyway, we're getting 250 watt extra, which is nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and swap out the CPU. So why did I choose this CPU? Why did I spend the $300 on this CPU on the Ryzen 9 to install it, as opposed to like something newer, like maybe an Intel processor? It's simple. The reasoning is simple when you look at it. It is work, but yeah, daily communications there. And there's fuck. Sorry, no cussing now. So the reason I'm cussing right now is I have to pop out this memory. Just pop out this memory to be able to access the CPU, the nut for the CPU core. The model for the CPU core. I don't have off the top of my head. I wonder something tearing this whole thing apart. Just like the main thread of a CPU. Well, we're not only upgrading the main thread of a CPU. So, okay. We're upgrading the whole CPU. We're not just upgrading the main thread. So, oh, it's not yet. It shows. I need this fan. Maybe I didn't have to rip memory. These clips, they look shit. They actually do a really good job. Okay, I didn't have to do that. Okay, so why did I go with the CPU I went with? Okay, I'm trying to get this out without wrecking it. There are multiple reasons. how I got that out. Got that out without wrecking it. Wonderful. There are multiple reasons. Price was definitely a factor. Right. So, I'm gonna show y'all how to clean off this because we already reused this core. We do unfortunately have to reuse this core. It's not unfortunate. It's actually fairly solid core, actually. So, isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol, guys. You know. Very carefully right now. Pour a little cap full of it. I'm gonna scrub this off right there. So the main reason is that I knew I was gonna need an upgrade at some point. That became quite obvious. Gosh, about 2 months ago. With the state of the new sim, that became astonishingly obvious. Grab a rush bin. With the new sim and with the old sim, I mean, having settings as low as they were and still only getting around 30 FPS, that people don't actually know this, but before I started the YouTube channel, I actually had an RX 580, right? And yeah, you heard that right. An RX 580, not 5800, like when the really older, right? And no, I used to have a actually it's still up on the wall. Right. It's up on the wall right now. But yeah, no, the thing is pretty darn good. Right, but my issue with it is that over time, and I mean by over time, don't mean like over the course of that long. The things actually came, the ports came really loose. I don't know how. Part of it was I think it was in the whole system was in a closet. That's when I had. That's when everything was still in the rack mount. Yeah, I used to have my computer in a rack mount chassis like Linus. Call me insane. Right. And it was like that way for, gosh, damn, solid 6 months. Then I put the system back to this, back to being here. Where did I put this? Yeah, no, but anyway, that thing did a fairly decent job, but it just wasn't delivering me the performance that I sort of wished it would, right? It was only after I bought the 4060 that I realized, oh shit, it's not just a graphics card issue. This is also an issue with this is more of an issue with Flight Sim in general, right? Just like that. So that's when I bought the 4060. 3060. the reason they didn't buy the 3060 was because $10 for a 4060, or $10 more for a 4060 over price of 3060, which didn't feel right, but it was. So yeah, and anyway, lo and behold, I came up with funds over some time to replace the 30 to replace my RX, the RX 580. That's it. Alright, that'll do. Nice, clean, shiny. And then just behind here. Now, you can touch this. You have to be very careful with these AM4 CPU processors. They're not LGA based, they're PGA, I think. That the thermal paste application was not as good as I wish it would be. Well, it wasn't bad. It did its job. Yeah, wait. There's actual dust balls on the CPU. Y'all can hear that, right? I think there's some mice up there. Yeah, no, anyway, you have to be careful with these, with these AM4 CPUs, because the pins are on the CPU, they're not in the socket, which kind of sucks. Kind of sucks because if you drop the CPU, then you're fucked. Rather the, at least older, I don't know if they'll do it anymore. Last I heard, they're about 3 months away from maintenance. But anyway, you just gotta be careful with these. Part of being careful does not mean holding it with one hand. Part of being careful means I'm not the entire CPU and getting all that thermal paste off though. Trying my best not to get any on the pins. Shit. Got something on the pins. Gotta be careful. Dang it. Let me see here. Tough. It's not enough for I'm worried about, so. But I mean, yeah, no, yeah, so, anyway, going back to the reason I bought the new one, the Ryzen 9, it was actually relatively affordable. Now, why not the 5900X, not the XT? That was actually more expensive. Now, I thought that the XT was better. Don't know how well it's going to hold up. But, we're going to see. We're going to take a look here. Once we're done cleaning out the CPU. So. That'll do. Shiny, shiny, shiny. There you go. For y'all, some information. Ryzen 5 4600G. I don't know how well y'all could have seen that. Let's see. We're gonna very, very carefully push them. So it's probably gonna make a return in a different system. Probably gonna go for actually my step brother. Anyway, let's go ahead and bust out the new really expensive, the new really, really expensive guy. So, you have to be now. You have to note a few things about these. Such as this is not. I'm gonna show y'all how big of a waste of plastic this is. How big of a waste of box this is. Plastic fucking spacer. Plastic spacer. Seriously, could have at least saved down like probably half the cardboard. Anyway. The new one. Ryzen 9 5600 XT. You can go ahead and be careful with it. Go ahead and move you guys over here more so y'all can watch. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Just honestly, it's like the place where you're gonna make a mistake if you're gonna make one. Just gotta be careful. Okay. Take a look at it. XT. Made in Malaysia. That's interesting. Okay. Go ahead and put that out. Hold it carefully. Now, they used to put a little, on the back here, you see that little triangle there? Don't know how well y'all can see that. You can see that triangle there? There is a triangle on your motherboard. Right. Or, another way you can tell on these AM4 processors, the texture facing towards the little bar here. Don't know how well y'all can see that. Okay, it'll just drop in, and then you lower the retention lever, and boom. Let's go ahead and take a beautiful little photo of that. There we go. That's a little photo of that. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the thermal paste. Now this is an area that you can cheap out if you're going to cheap out. And obviously you need thermal paste. Getting the processor this expensive, but in terms of saving like $6, MX4 versus MX6. Is there a difference? I don't know. But any thermal paste is infinitely chance better than none. Take the cap off. In terms of the pattern, grain of dice, then these little things in each corner. And that'll be more than enough. Actually, just throw in a bit more right there. There you go. Have to be careful about that overflow now, but that's fine. they're not. This stuff is non-conductive in terms of electricity, but it is very conductive in terms of heat. Okay. Let's just put it out of the way. Now it's time for this. Cooler time. Sort of sits on top here. Take a screwdriver and tighten it down. Hand tighten it. My general rule when it comes to these CPU coolers, not until you feel much resistance when it sort of stops only. You might hear it click. Whenever your screwdriver begins to slip. That'll do. Time to reinstall the memory. Okay. This is a T-Crate 8 gigabyte sticks of DDR4. Why are we still using DDR4 in 2025? It's because I don't want to switch. Sorry, that's not the correct. Actually, that's not the accuracy. I'm fine switching. Don't have anything against DDR5 other than the price. So you factor in the price. Ooh, what does that make a difference? I'm dealing with that to go in one click, not two. That's fine. That one. Let's see. Not to bang it into the case. Actually, this is fine to bang it against the case. To me, you don't do it often. So, just giving this thing a dust down. Not going to. I'm going to do that off camera one day when I have some compressed gas. Do it with. So, it's not that bad. Okay. Now what's left is to throw CPU fan in here. And see about doing this right. And building computers, it becomes like really easy. Once you built your first one, it's like clockwork, right? It's easy, but at the same time, it's so fun. Let me just verify I'm getting the zero flow correctly. But I got front in exhaust out kind of system. I want to remove that hot air from the case as fast as possible. So we go to the negative pressure system. Or a balance pressure. If ever you're confused about which direction the fan blows, there should be an arrow somewhere on the fan. Maybe. There ought to be somewhere. It's not seeing right now. Take off my lenses. Oof. Or I can spin the fan. I'm gonna put. There's not an arrow. These ones I know. Yeah, these ones are obvious. So. I think it's. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely going out this way. So. Okay, that's fine. Take off the rubbish sticker. Take off that rubbish sticker. Not that you need to. Okay, now these things are annoying, but at the same time being good. Usually the best strat. Clip one side on. And then very carefully flip the other side on. I think the other side though, another one you can actually trying to get it level if you can. And there you go. That cooler is not going anywhere. Okay. Now y'all can see, don't have to see that. quiet time. Boy, oh boy, is that about to get fun. Boy, oh boy, is the power supply about to be fun. We're at the point now where I'm just going to swap out the power supplies we got here. Plug the new one. I'm going to take the old one, plug it back in, just so we have a grounding capability. Okay. Go ahead and flip it up now. Now I can go and take out this massive bag of cables. I can go and figure out precisely. Clean that up later. Okay. So we are going to need this PCIe. Apparently, I'm the only one who still uses Molex. Now it is. So we're going to need that. We're going to need some SATA. Just to verify. This here is that their CPU. What's this here? This here is I've changed CPUs for some reason. And there it is. This here's PCI. Get the PCIe cable. And then I don't want to need another Molex, so I'll keep that out just in case. Another PCIe, but because I'm not using that many PCIes anymore. No, there used to be something called SLI. There used to be something called SLI. And I never fully got the point of why they got rid of it, other than just wildly inefficient and over. So anyway. We'll be right back in a bit. first time using a semi-modular power supply. These guys are only cables. Okay. That guy. We can go ahead and this guy. R7. R7. R16. How many subs do we got here? We'll be fine. Actually, don't know if we will. We'll get both. Turn both. Just get on the safe side. You have to be careful. You also have to be careful with these, because I have heard stories of them melting in the house. So. There we go. And then we just need you're telling me. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, what was I about to say? Sorry, I couldn't find that final PCI for a second. Or that final set peripheral for a second. Kind of though. Okay. There you go. Big, heavy chunk of cable. Here. I'm going to use pretty much every single one of them that's here. Unfortunately. Unfortunate, at least not fortunately. Depends whose side of the story you're looking at. Okay. Let's see here. We can go ahead and feed the cable through first. Okay, I'm gonna feed the cable through first. And then you're gonna pull the cables out. Make sure the power supply is oriented correctly. I have a vent under here, so power supply face down. Let's see if I can choke it. Oh my word! Sorry about that. No, you go away just sorry, completely wrong. Some cases, I did that completely wrong. Some cases have a thing where you slide. They have more like a power supply cradle. Ryan the idiot back at work. This one says that. slide it in. Slide it in that, and then grab this and screw the power supply in. Oh wait. Fuck. Fuck. So this is Scott. I did not infect the power supplies. What was I? Wish I had. Part of me tempted to reach out to Amazon saying I received a damaged product. Either part of me thinks I'll be fine. Don't know if y'all can see. I can see. I wouldn't usually recommend what I'm about to do. This box is got suspicion. I'm just nursing now. See that dent there? There you go. You can see it better from that angle. We're gonna roll with it. Doesn't look like it's affecting any internals, just looks like it's cosmetic. I can live with a little cosmetic damage. With that said though, if this fries the system, people are gonna be pissed. And Amazon and MSI will be on that list. We're gonna try it out, and if it doesn't go so well, then one of our stream for tomorrow is gonna be canceled. And what on earth is gonna happen? I got it. I do have some important documents in here. If I can't get the screw in, then that's a deal breaker. So nice. Continue to be secure. I got it. It's in. It is in. It's the damage is visible though. I might contact Amazon about that next week, to be honest. Next week, I can make contact about it. Even if this does work, say, look, I didn't pay for my package to get drops ticked and damaged. Great. Alright, let's go ahead and wire everything up. This is supposed to be like this. Yeah, every time I do this, I feel like it might be damaged. The board. Partially because I'm missing a standoff. What's next? Not dropping it would be the best. This is PCIe. That. Last here's CPU. CPU gets fed through up here. And then, with a bit of luck, I can push it in and get it in. You know, if it's just cut, then I won't reach out to them. Doing Amazon support is bad enough as it is. It's always like the trickiest one. This is always the trickiest cable. This is the trickiest one out of them all. It's tricky named off it because I heard not goodbye. Tricky. Let's see here. Tricky. Tricky. Got it. Now let me think here. Let's go ahead and get these SATA guys. Actually, let's do this strategically, shall we? First, let's grab our Molex. Because, yeah, I'm still using that shit. In a day and age where really you should not. Wait, there's no reason to. Oh, okay. Sorry. There is plenty of reason to be using Molex still in 2025. Actually, I think I kind of said. Over here. Bloody hell. That one. That is PCIe. Come last. I reckon. Let me get this SATA power in. Wonderful. You know, actually, to be honest, I can probably remove this one. No, I'm not going to. Not going to be that done today. At least not right now. It'd be dumber though. Okay. Now, let's see if I can't try to find some zip ties. See if I can't try to find some zip ties. Just try to get yourself some of those. God. Never go right back. Actually, not in there is the first answer. Right there is the second answer. Okay. Nope. What's in your... Nope. Damn it. Actually, I have no clue. Ties Osmond. Wait, what is this? Not the baggies of ties. Okay, I can say no clue where they are, which is fine. That's fine, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we don't have to live with that. Okay. Let's take a look at what the view is doing. You're watching now. Thank you for tuning in. Doing an upgrade here. Doing a massive upgrade. Very, very pricey as well, but in theory, my main thread performance, the performance of the main thread of the CPU will now be much better, right? Now be much better. So, actually, I'm going to show everyone what I took later. Just doing a few benchmarks. I only did benchmarks in 2020 and at a few airports, right? Didn't do anything extensive. Pull it up. There y'all go. Don't know how well y'all can see that. But it said limited by main thread, and it was quite extensive as well. It was quite an extensive limitation, right? It was read the entire time while on approach. While on short final, I was using FSI panel for testing purposes, and boy oh boy, it was limited. We were main thread limited the entire time. Let's get the RTX card back in. So, yeah, no, wait, was it limited the entire time? So, both the CPU and GPU upgrade was definitely, but the CPU and power supply was definitely in order. Now that's if I can get this in. Let's try to do this the right way. Try and go up to this next rung here. This next rung on like a imaginary ladder thing here. That's not gonna happen. And then once we get this whole thing back together and back in this desk setup behind me, we're doing good. Here we go. Maybe we'll do some short finals in FS 2024. So, or excuse me, in FS 2020. Yeah. So, anyway, upgraded to the Ryzen 9 5900 XT. So, and that's in the 4600G, which I do have now here. How y'all can see that. Definitely not the best condition to be handling the CPU in. Definitely not condition to be handling any CPU. Definitely not a great condition. So, no. Microsoft Flight Simulator likes 3 things. It likes RAM, as in regular memory. It likes the main thread performance of your CPU. Okay. Right. It likes to gobble that up. And then finally, it loves VRAM. It gets high on loads and loads of VRAM, or video memory, which is just insane. I mean, this year I think this is like an 8 or 10 gig card. It's enough, but only because I'm not upgrading further. Okay. It's enough. Oh wait. This last, but anyway, this is the CPU that's been in the system for roughly about 2 years now. It's the Ryzen 5 4600G. It's still a solid processor. In today's age, it's just not. Unfortunately, for me, it's just not powerful enough for me. But I'm not those people, so. No, it's. Actually, I was joking with Aeronaut earlier. Yeah, no, I was joking with Aeronaut earlier, and it's like we were talking about solutions with it, and I said the best solution would. He was trying lossless scaling out, and he said, and I said the best solution would just be for Assembler to program the sim right. Do a better job at programming everything. So I mean. You can't say I'm not wrong, can you? You can't say that I'm not wrong. You can just disagree with me, but can't say that I'm not wrong about that. I'm gonna say this solution is for just to program the goddamn subreddit. Program the goddamn subreddit. That's what we pay them. That's what I paid them $200 to do. In addition to send me that AN 225 that's up there. So. Actually, I watched something when I was watching an Air Marshal video, and I saw someone barking what ended up being an AN-G24. Of course, you couldn't see the whole wings because I thought it was the AN-G25, and I was like, oh, surely this has got to be fake. And I looked closer, no, it was, I didn't see any evidence that it was fake. Right. I didn't see any evidence that it was AI generated. Right. No, I didn't see any evidence that it was AI generated at all. So I mean, but no, I looked closer and I was like, oh, this is an AN-G24. That's a model I haven't heard about. And I mean, yeah, so the whole thing was real. How the hell I got the privileged part to marshal that guy? I have no clue. Okay. Fuck, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. So I have a TV right there though. I think I'll use that. Kind of. So it doesn't really matter what type of fish you like. Wait. Massive one. Got two. A nice big one right here. Which this wrench. If I were to put it underneath it, surely it's gotta. It's gotta reach. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see if we haven't fried anything. Yeah, I'll be dusting this thing off. I'll be dusting this thing off camera. Hopefully hopefully doing that. Now if this results in a massive spark, Amazon, mark my words, if this results in a massive spark, and something frying, you guys will be on the hook. Although I didn't see any damage to anything but the casing, so hopefully it'll be fine. Now, if this thing gives me motherboard error and says, "Oh, CPU," if this thing gives me CPU error, then that's something different. We can work with that. If it doesn't give me anything, then we get bigger issues. Grab the old keyboard at least used for the setup and get a mouse. Actually, hang on, let me go ahead and see if I'm out. Everything is just slightly. Y'all get to see my massive over here. Let's see. Yeah, y'all get to see more of my massive mess. You'll get to see. Be very, very careful. Let's get a mouse here. Actually, is this thing not in here? This thing in here? Oh, smart. Smart. If this gives me a CPU error, that we can work with. Because it's very possible you just have an unsupported CPU. Which, the CPU, it is a AM4 socket. The same chipset, it just may require the BIOS update. Which, I'm not looking forward to doing if we have to do. I'm not looking forward to any possible BIOS update. So actually, they have the remote. I just don't remember the other day. The question is where I put it. The question is where did I put it? Swirl it around a little bit. I am leaning towards the idea that I was not smart with it at all. So what's off the remote for it? Unless it's over here somewhere. And the line, which is at the end of the day, that's always a significant. Just a possibility. Actually, it's a possibility. So, we're talking politics earlier, and we're talking about the possibility. Someone said, "There's a possibility of this happening." No, and I was like, "No, there's not a possibility. There's a probability. It's a probability, not a possibility." Anyway, you see that. Okay. That's a good sign. Start mashing delete. Post right about now would be good. It'd be nice to see a post. Nice to see post about right about now. Well, maybe not post, but it'd be nice to see a logo on. Now sometimes it does take a minute though. Mash and delete here. It's just a bat. Ah! Nice! Look at that! Look at that. American Megatrends. It's detecting RX 5900 XT speed 3300. That's One keyboard, 2 mice. It's interesting. Fine, fair enough. 0 hubs. Just detecting all those. CPU fan error. What's that about? That's it is true. Do you have a CPU fan error? That is true, unfortunately. And no, I see why. People got sandwiched. CPU fan error though. When that error happens. Sometimes it will happen though. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the cable got sandwiched. That's the issue. That was the issue there. Ah. We just gotta fix the CPU fan error. The CPU fan. It's not actually giving an error anymore, so it's that's because I'm holding it in my hand. So. Okay, let's go ahead and shut down. You've already fixed this. Ought to be a smart idea beforehand. Sorry, yeah, I figured out what that error was. The cable was sandwiched in between, so it wasn't able to spin. Hence causing the error. There we go. There we go, fixed. Signal would be good. About now. I don't have any BitLocker. I'm not worried about something happening with BitLocker. Which got that detail, but I don't think it's BitLocker. At least I haven't yet. Wait, sorry, I've used it in cybersecurity labs, but I don't actively use BitLocker because I don't have a reason to. I don't have a really big reason to get files and lock down. I mean, lock down this system right then, and there's no real reason to. Because you're wondering what that is, by the way, that is a Macintosh. I refurbished myself about 6 months ago. That is using the same processor. Ah, bloody hell. Okay. I'm going to consider that a success. Let's go ahead and get it over on to the setup behind us. Let's go ahead and get it over onto the setup behind us after it finishes booting, which it is going to take a minute. That's the way the universe works, unfortunately. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to the disc. We actually have a few things we have to finish up, such as the keyboard in the back, which I'm not that worried. Not that worried about the keyboard in the back. So. Okay. Unplug this. Yep, we got a few minutes before we can do any of this. And the advice I'm going to take is called the advice of stuffing everything and hooking it the side things that fits on. It's not ideal. And again, that's something that we'll let her do off camera. Now we detected all the drives though. It's going to take me a minute to reset up. Okay, let's go grab the other. Let's go grab the side panel or one of them. New Ryzen 9 processor. We will have to get some drivers installed. I'll show you how to get those installed. I'll be a little flipped here. That's not, to be clear, I don't recommend doing it the way it is. I just sort of bashing the panel on in a way. It's not a recommendation. It's far from. Okay. Let's throw the wings back in here. Actually, I have to wonder, is there a way for me to like stick the wings somewhere a bit more interesting? Putting them actually like right there would be nice. Don't know how to take this front panel off though, other than the this tug. Y'all can see all that dust that just came flying off. Right. So I hope y'all can. Something fall. So not worried. Actually, I don't know if it was. Anyway, we're gonna stick these wings. Let's stick these wings to it. Massive dust washer right here, though. It's massive dust washer, which, as far as I can tell, is like nearly removable. Nearly. Or, it's not like removable. As far as I can tell, anyway. defeats the purpose of having one. What do you think about it? Can't remove it to clean it. What's the point of having it? Nonetheless, this is as shitty of a design, I think it might be. Is it really that shitty of a design? To get that whole dust filter off? I hope it's not. I hope it's not as shitty of a design as I think it might be. Nope. Maybe not important. What is important though is trying to get these wings mounted. And mounted the right way up. Uh-huh. Better just do it. They're just coming through. And coming through right there. And the other. Through there. There we go. There you go. There we go. Okay. Let's cover up the panel, the glass panel. So. I'm not gonna wipe this down because I don't care about it being dusty. And then not spend the hour and a half it took me to wipe this whole thing down. So keep that in mind. Yeah, theoretically I can save it like that, but it wouldn't be that secure. So it wouldn't be that safe. So I've done so much in this system now. At this point in time, the only things I haven't done are the 2 original 6 in memory, which are still there. Right. Actually, hang on. I think it's possible that I even did the memory a year ago. A little over. No, I didn't. So aside from the memory, and then aside from aside from the memory, I haven't done anything. Aside from the memory, the motherboard, and the original boot drive, the original M.2 boot drive, I think everything in here I've replaced, including the fans. The fans, these 5, 6 fans, not original. I used to have the Raid Stealth Gold or whatever for when it came with it. Yeah. So, okay. Show you all the setup Yoke coming next week. Something that's not going to be in videos before my surgery. Unfortunately, I have to have this week. So. Oh, before we put this over there. It's the favorite part. Final touch. Yeah, I have all the stickers here. Final part, ladies and gents. Gotta install the updated sticker. Momentous, okay? Gotta get it right. And that is as spelled as right as you can get it. All the stickers that came with stuff. Actually, I'm surprised I don't have one for the RTX card on it. Let's look at that. Okay, let's get this thing back over to the setup. For y'all wondering, this is what the setup looks like right now. Okay, got the quadrant, got the throttle quadrant right there, the rotor pedals down there, got the TCA side stick there. We got the 3 monitors. Usually the laptop that I'm streaming on this one sit right here, has a little EFB tablet. Oh, it's gonna migrate over here. I want to take the yoke this week. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and move this big heavy thing. Actually, it's not that big. It's not that heavy. Something's off. Shut this not important. Show me this. Don't make this. Let's go ahead and move. I remember this all. Remember this. I'm trying to figure out a place to put this. It's actually PS2 based. I don't remember that. But I'm actually looking for a place to put that because I can use an extra few levers. Of course, it might not matter once I get my throttle quadrant, or once I get my yoke. So, might not matter that much once I get the yoke. Go ahead and get that there. All these USBs. I do need to figure out a way to hijack the string once I get this. Oh, maybe. I am going to move some stuff though. And my money bags? No, not money bags. Unfortunately, this is what saving gets you. It's a mediocre PC, but it gets you the PC. Gives me the PC I got. So, and sometimes you get tougher. Keyword being sometimes. if you manage your money well enough to do so. See, I gave too much money to the IRS last year. There you all go. That's the truth behind this. Yeah, tell me what it was. Gave too much money to the fucking IRS last year. And it wasn't just by a $100 margin, it was by a $1,000 margin. Actually, 900. So, okay, I need to figure out a way to do this. So, apologies to y'all. This is weird for a second. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the webcam for a second. Yeah. Y'all cannot see that anymore. Wonderful. Y'all, the microphone's gonna get weird for a second as I move this back into its rightful position. This back into its rightful position. I forgot. Okay. Now y'all can't see anything. Sit. That's back into its rightful position. And I'll go on mute for a second. Y'all can't hear it. But my patience from it. I'll move all this stuff back over to where it should be. Be back in a jiffy. Aha! There we go. Got the microphone back. We got the microphone back now. Now we just need to go and grab the final little cable so I can get y'all doing what I'm looking at. this blue cable. Oh. It's this blue cable. Uh-oh. I see what the issue is. Pesky little cable. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. If that scared anyone. It was not meant to. It's not meant to scare anyone. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the handle back on. So, there's a cable. That's all that was. Cable wrong, I'm just a fan. So, my dad. I was holding my dad's system right in front of him, and of course it happened. And he was like, "Ah, you're breaking something!" And it's like, "No, I'm not. I'm not." Said, "Oh, it's scary." Yeah, it might be a little scary. It's nothing to worry about, though. By the way, the computer's already booted up. Just gotta. Come back in here. Okay, now let me see what I can do in terms of getting y'all add video capture device again. Nope. USB video. Oh shit. If I could do this, you'll have to I don't know. Yeah. May need my phone for a second. In terms of what y'all can see, what can y'all see? Not much. Yeah, can you send that notification to my phone? Where put my phone? Wherever I put my phone at. It's behind me. Continue. Do you have to go back into a few things and check a few things? Aha. There we go. There we go. There we go. We got the computer back up and running. Get it back up and running. I love that sort of word. So, well, we got the system back up and running, sort of. in the sort of way that we had some things. First things first, I'm going to show y'all what we have to do. AMD. What we have to do is we have to come in here. Okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to go into Chrome. You have to grab some drivers from AMD. Okay. Watch how to do this. You go to AMD.com. Resources and support. It'll be in downloads. Ryzen. Yeah, this when you know it's not functioning right, I think. Resources. Okay. Processors. Ryzen 5000 series. 5900X. Actually, we should have it. Not seeing that. Not seeing it. Oof. Not seeing any of the XTs. Maybe it's actually in... That is interesting. I did get you guys tea, right? Yeah. Okay, not being blind here. Let's see here. AMD. Should know. 9. Let's take a look here. Actually, let's see here. Ryzen 900 XT. See here. Okay, what? Fine. Fine, you win. So this doesn't get in the way of stuff. So this doesn't get in the way of stuff. And of course it's popped up on my other screen. Specs. Just popped up on my other screen. Fine. I would not be overclocking this thing. I don't see a purpose in overclocking, not when you lose potentially the stability, which is what a lot of us flitzers are after, right? We're not only after 60 frames per second necessarily, we're after a solid 30 though. We went a solid 30 on final approach into a super disgustingly messy AnyBuilds Heathrow Airport. And among other things, Edinburgh. Because we all know how Edinburgh's going to be. So, whoops. Edinburgh is always a mess. In case y'all are wondering. So, let's go ahead and restart the computer. And y'all can see this because I have a capture device. I have a little HDMI capture card. It's not my capture card, it's just a little HDMI capture thing. So, it's what I use. It's why I'm sort of locked to this monitor, not to mention that this monitor here is the best monitor that I have out of all of them. Right, so this monitor here is the best monitor I have out of all of them. So, give it a second. It's not lines on my screen, by the way. The HDMI capture device isn't reading anything. So. There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into Task Manager then. I'll be honest, there's something very comforting about that number. When usually for some boot up it will take up 15-30% performance. CPU, look at that. 16 cores! For reference. For reference, ladies and gents. This thing here, I believe, had... This old thing here had, I believe, 6 cores. So, yeah, pretty substantial upgrade. Something very comforting about that. Let's go ahead and pop into 2020, which is where I did benchmarks. When I did the benchmarks earlier, I was not using Auto FPS. I wanted to get raw data. Using whatever settings I set up a while ago. So, but I mean, we were a lot. I did all off camera. Actually, I did record. I did record everything though, but I did it all off camera, and boy, oh boy. Oof. Boy, oh boy. I think it took. It's the 777. I did some landing practice at Heathrow. Just get those numbers. And actually, I have the footage somewhere. And I'll just show y'all. I think it'll be in this one. Let's see here. Is this it? Okay. Yeah, I think this is it. Can we open this up actually with VLC? So we can fucking skip ahead. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we were... Oh wait, y'all can't see that, sorry. Yeah, we were locked to being main thread limited. And you can just see as I'm scrubbing through all this footage here. Right. And yeah, no, we were locked to main thread the entire time. Now, I don't know what the main thread performance is necessarily going to look like. I don't know what the main thread performance is necessarily going to look like anymore, but I can make a fairly I can make an assumption that it's probably going to be better. Because we are talking about a $150 CPU versus a $300 CPU. By the way, this thing is still great. The 540-600G. It's still pretty darn good. Can I recommend it? Can I recommend it in today's world? I can. Well, I have to. Of course, though, I have to issue the warning of, is it really that way? Right. I will say, the computer's already functioning better. Not that it wasn't before. It's the one we're streaming on right now that I'm always having issues with. So, check the views. I think it's just me at this point. Yeah. Let's see you watching. Still two watching. That is, I'm fairly certain, not just me. So, of course, if you want to say anything in chat, please do. I didn't really look into the main thread performance of the CPU, but this is like the best CPU that you can get on the AM4 platform, without doing a motherboard swap. And of course, if I was going to go as far as a motherboard swap, I may as well buy a new case. I may as well buy a new case. I may as well buy a few extra drives, right? Because if I was going to do the motherboard swap, I would have to do memory as well, because it would have been getting whatever. So, okay. The tools, options, debug, display FPS. Look at that. Still limited by main thread. Interesting enough, but that's not exactly where we have the issues. But the sim is already handling stuff a lot better. I mean, I can already see a bit of a noticeable difference. You're still limited by the main thread, to be clear, but those numbers are a lot better. So let's get FSI panel up. We're still limited by main thread, but I mean, oh shit! I'm telling you have to log in everything. Oh shit! I do. Damn it! That sucks. I'm ready to go find that email. I mean, by main thread, we're in the green so far. Sorry, let me just get the FSI panel working again. But already, though, I can tell a significant difference in right here at Heathrow. Sorry, I'm trying to get FSI panel back up and running. Because this stuff resets. So I'm just still trying to get FSI panel back up and running. Unfortunately, I sent you an email. Okay, I'm saying both limited. I'm saying both limited by GPU and limited by main thread. What? Okay. Anyway, let's just go ahead and look around here. Yeah, limited by GPU. Limited by main thread. But boy, oh boy, is this... There's something very comforting about getting a solid 60 frames per second. There's something very, very, very... yeah, there is something very, very reassuring about getting a solid 60, which is what we were getting there. That is very, very reassuring. Now we're dropping. Yeah, now we're dropping down to 0, but that's fine. We have to restart. Damn. Sucks. That is the quickest I've ever gotten out of the sim. So, sorry, we have to. Dude, we have to get FSI panel up beforehand. That's what he is. Continue. There we go. So, yeah, no, that was very reassuring to see that, to see a solid 60 the entire time. A solid 60 is nice. That is really, really nice to see. Straight up solid 60 FPS. I mean, that's quite impressive. To be clear, I was expecting a difference. I knew we were main thread limited. I just didn't know we were main thread limited by that much. Right. I mean, we've essentially doubled our FPS there. On ground. Getting 20 over what I was getting. Getting 20 over what I was getting. The sim is launching a significant amount faster. So far, that is. I'll have to do some landings, though. So, yeah. I haven't, although I didn't test 2024, we all know how 2024 is. Actually, Aaron Ryan's he did the short, and it's like, I completely agree with him. When he says, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, it goes S tier. Not S plus tier. Not A tier. It goes S tier. It is good. The physics on it are a lot better. Significant upgrade from 2020. However, there are sometimes it acts as if it's an F tier. Yeah. So you guys gotta give us that full version. I have nearly 3.5 terabytes of storage on here. I can use it. So I am fully able to use it. See here. Yeah, what are the math? There it is. So, and the nice thing is that when it comes to streaming, it should be easier as well. Okay, we are getting in and out of the sim faster than we ever have. The sim is loading and working better than ever. I wonder what this means in terms of stuff. We'll get up the stuff in a moment. I actually don't know if y'all can see. Oh. Bed, are y'all not able to see that little toolbar up here? You guys are able to. It's not easily. It's in debug. Display FPS. We're still limited by main thread, apparently. Actually, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. But this looks... Oh my word. Once again, something very, very comforting. Let me get that up. So I'm going to cheat this. FS actions. Panel load. Taxi. We'll get that amount. Now, this is an issue with this plane. It goes down. I mean, there is something still very, very, very reassuring about getting essentially a solid 60 or something. I mean, Heathrow works now. So that's a good airport. I'm just to show y'all my settings. I have not edited my settings, I mean, it's all been live. Turn options. TAA, frame gen off. VSync on, NVIDIA low, frame rate limit 100% monitor refresh rate, which is about 75 Hz, I think. Yeah, actually, no, I think it's about 60. DirectX 11. I don't use DirectX 12 unless, at least not in the old sim. And then we have Ultra. To be honest, we'll be fine. So. We're still limited by main thread, but boy oh boy. Alright, shall we do a few approaches? Heathrow 09. Okay. Actually, let me just go into FS actions, edit the fuel, short range, there we go. Minimum. Okay. Okay, once again, there is something very, very, very reassuring about seeing frames repeating. Oh, we're going back down. You're going back down, but to be clear, this is still beyond usable. Still beyond usable.
2500.
This is still much more usable than it was. And to be honest, as long as I'm staying as long as I'm staying north of 50. To be honest, as long as I'm staying north of 50, I'm fine. Or sorry, as long as I'm staying north of 30, I'm fine, because your eyes can't tell the difference, but it's a tiny, tiny difference. Your brain can't really process it. Okay. Now we're on the approach currently. Not much notice for me. Try to do this perfectly this time. Watch me absolutely butter this landing. And we can blame it on bad frames.
500.
Maybe I'll say though, this is a lot easier to do when we have good frames. The pappies are wildly off.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Boy, oh boy. That'll be a short. That will be a short. I don't know how I just did that, but yeah, I will take that. I will absolutely take that. Let's take a look at that landing report. I felt that was pretty good. I felt as if that was pretty darn good. Dang it. Wow. I don't think we did that, though. That didn't feel like... we might have, but... We can now blame it on the frames! we can blame it on the frames! We are still... To be clear, we are still main thread limited. We are still main thread limited. However, considering the upgrade... Just out of curiosity... Yeah. Considering the upgrade, the CPU... Oh my word, it's like... Boy oh boy. Now we are, once again, we are still locked to being main thread limited. But... I can ignore that. I'm being honest. I can ignore that. Okay. Boy oh boy. I think we ought to try that again. Short final. We're gonna do this in the Airbus as well. perhaps. Laps 30, short final, move aircraft. Yeah, this is just elevated everything.
2,500.
Somehow we were able to completely butter that. So, yeah. We are still limited by the main thread, though. I can't express that enough. But, I mean, that's how the sim is. Usually, you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to be limited by main thread. But, with that said, though, the performance increase we get by swapping out the CPU for the best CPU I can get, boy oh boy. And getting north of 40 frames per second on short final, pretty much an area that the sim struggles at, I will completely take that. I will say that that's kind of annoying. Okay, let's try this again.
1,000.
See if it was just a fluke, or if better frames actually truly contributes. To better landings. Ah!
500.
Yeah, this is not looking as good. This is not looking nearly as good.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
I actually
Flight slow. Flight slow.
am alright.
Flight slow. Flight slow. Flight slow. 20. 10.
Bridge descent 352 feet per minute. That wasn't as good. I'll give you that. That wasn't as good. I thought our aviation sensor line was fine. Positive landing, make touchdown pretty good. Landing distance, yep, that's because we're using max auto brake. So, ideally in the real world, you wouldn't be using max auto brake. Actually, that's here. Let's see. BMG. Before auto brake 2. Yeah, but no. I think we can conclude a few things by this, right? I think it's safe to conclude a bunch of things. Right. I think we can safely conclude that frames do help out getting good landings. We can also safely conclude that despite this being an oof, actually wasn't that much. It's about a $400 upgrade. By the time you factor in the power supply. Actually, no, it wasn't even that. No, it was 350, I think. Was it 400? Yeah, that 400 seems about right. That's right. Trying to. No, it wasn't that. It was closer to 350. About a $350 upgrade. Upgrade though, I mean. I think it's well worth it, you know? Now I will say the one thing about FSI piano. There we go. Let's go ahead and taxi around though. Just the frames, because this is another problem area. It's another problem area, but I mean... Actually, let's try taking off. Then we'll... actually, no. Well, maybe we'll do a circuit. But, I mean, yeah. There's something very, very nice, though, about getting a solid 40 FPS above. I will say the Pappies and the Glide Step are far off. If I keep Microsoft Flight Sim. Even the Pappies. So that stuff is far off. So, yeah, we are still limited by main thread, but I mean, I can't tell you how much of a difference that makes, though. We'll vacate the next right, or the next. We'll vacate the next left. Now, is that going to hold on VATSIM, though? That I don't know. It should. It should. Whether or not it's actually going to, I don't know. Only time will tell when it comes to testing out. But yeah, okay, that was smooth. That was frickin' smooth, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that was smooth as fuck. Alright, let's taxi here. We won't try anything in an Airbus, though. Save that for tomorrow, because we're flying Airbuses all over the place tomorrow. So... my rudder pedals are extremely sensitive. Okay. Here we are. We are beginning to have some issues. Now. You now are seeing in the 30s, but still much more usable than it was. Taxiing around in 30s is better. I'm more impressed though on that we were getting that stuff on, that we were doing around 40, I want to say, on final. That I was more impressed by that. Tire pressures here. Right now, where are we going? Not in there. Going down to Terminal 5. That's where we park. That's where us, the big heavy 777. That's where we park. So. I always have like all this lights on. I actually don't know what the proper lighting system is, so. But yeah, no, it's like, boy oh boy, is this ever one improvement. We are still main thread limited, though. That is the interesting thing. We are still main thread limited. Actually, if I were to get audio off this, if I were to get auto FPS though running, to get auto FPS there running. That does make it. I think that makes a difference. I think that makes a difference. That does make a difference. I'm seeing it visually though. Unfortunately, I'm seeing it visually, like here, like the textures, right? At least I think that's the way I'm seeing it. Actually, I'm not seeing that much of a difference though. Have we just found the auto FPS killer? I think it looks better without auto FPS, but y'all have to be the judge of that. So. But I mean, yeah, if you're building a slightly outdated system and you can afford the RX or the Ryzen 5900 XT, then I'd say go for it. Especially if you're in flight sim. Yes, yeah. There's something very, very comforting about seeing seeing numbers not dipping below 30 pretty much under any circumstance. There's something very, very, very comforting about that. And I mean, this is the triple here. This is not a plane that, in the sim, that takes up. It's not a plane in the sim that's light on resources. In a plane that's light on resources, you go fly the A319, or sorry, you go fly the A320 Neo V2. That's pretty good on such resources, right? The triple though is freaking awful on resources. Okay, I've seen worse though. I think the fly-by-wire A380 is still the worst of all. Right, let's turn in here. Right, then let's go ahead and turn in here. It's Terminal 5, Charlie. Here, I know he's been in Heathrow, and I'm going back to Heathrow for... Gosh damn, we're going to be in and out of Heathrow all the time. Our trip in July, August. We'll be in and out of Heathrow like four or five times. Well, actually only two. So, yeah, actually only three. So. Let's pick a stand. You can go ahead and pick a stand. Now, what is this going to do with GSX? Aiming for 565. Trying to get 565 here. Marshaller. Wonderful. See what GSX is gonna make us. It's gonna make the sim do. We'll say that shadow looks. That shadow does not look right. Not really seeing that much of a difference. Getting closer, we're gonna hit the thing. Let's see how close we are. Maybe we can get a little closer. A little bit. Something to it. Yeah, I'm convinced now that we go any closer. Yeah. Wow, it's actually a pretty good fucking job there. Yeah, but no, it's like key throw looks 1,000 times better now. Partially just because of frames. Okay. Actually, we can get external power. Power now. Got that one engine off. Other engine off. But yeah, no, it's like, what the fuck are they doing there? Some kind of weird yoga. But yeah, no, it's like, for the upgrade, for the price that I paid, it's like, this upgrade was like more than justified. I mean, this upgrade was more than justified. I mean, look at how. I mean, we're doing. I'm putting it through chaos right now. Not getting above. We're not getting below 30. I mean, we haven't gotten below 30 since the mini screens, and I'm all right with getting 30. Now we're getting 50. Now it's like just something really, really nice about that. So. Although I can't trust this enough, we're still main thread limited. You would have thought we would still be main thread limited on a 5900 XT. 5900 XT. Just imagine that. We're still fucking main thread limited in a $50 sim with a $70 aircraft. So fucking made with the bloody Ryzen 9 processor. So, anyway, we've been at this for 3 hours now. That seems about right. Seems about right for the upgrade. Peak CPU memory. Okay, that's interesting. But in terms of GPU memory, it wants to use more. It wants to use more than what I have for it. That is interesting. I mean, the sim likes the sim loves VRAM. Yeah, the sim loves VRAM. So, alright. Well, that's good for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. You expect to see a video. I'm probably gonna get out next week at this point. Yeah, at this point in time, I'm probably not gonna get out until next week. Yeah, no, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. It's been a blast. I mean, upgraded CPU, and then we did 2 reasonably good landings out of that. That first one, well, if it's right about it being a 0 feet rated descent, that is not a safe landing at all. So, yeah. Anyway, you can expect to see a few shorts there. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'll see you all in tomorrow's stream.